Hey guys, I am back, and so this is a video that I'm doing in preparation for, I'd mentioned before, I got some medical stuff going on. Before somebody asks, it's not a COVID thing, it's, I don't want to get into it, but I'm going to be out of commission for a little while they go do some stuff inside. So anyway, you guys have liked the collection vids. And one of the brands that's been requested next is Kershaw. So we're going to look at the Kershaw collection, and this one will be uploaded and just set to go public, you know, as I'm doing my downtime. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Let's jump right into it, and we are going to start off with a discontinued model, one of my favorites. And if you can get your hands on this, I highly recommend you do this. This is the Kershaw Echelon. This is the model 1880. I think I grabbed this in maybe 2012. This was one of my first experiences, I believe, in Sandvik steel too. And like everything else, it's got the chinchilla dust because, you know, the drawers where they are. But beautiful knife, gorgeous knife, and it's got I don't know if you can tell, but it's got some really nice machining work, super smooth G10, and then the texturing on there. It's got the speed safe system, which is one of my absolute favorite spring assist, one of the best money can buy. Gorgeous finish on the blade, great EDC size. I love this knife. Comes with a deep carry clip, which is awesome. I wish that they still made this knife. I really wish they still made this knife. I'd buy some more of them. But the Echelon has been one of my favorite Kershaws since it came out. As soon as I saw it, I had to grab it. A little pricey as Kershaws go, if I remember correctly, but awesome little Kershaw knife. So if you can find the Echelon, I highly encourage you get yourself one. Next is the Skyline. Now this is not, the Skyline it's like a quintessential Kershaw. Every Kershaw collection has to have a Kershaw Skyline. It's one of their most popular models. This is the Skyline XL because I like a slightly bigger blade. And so I got this one, and it's just a little bit bigger than the regular Skyline. You know, the Skyline has really increased in price over the last handful of years. The Skyline XL is everything that Skyline is. It's just a little bit bigger. And I got this for collection purposes, really. I've never actually carried it, never done anything, but it fits the hand so perfectly. And the Skyline is, I'd throw it out there and say one of the most popular EDC kind of knives, you know, in the lower cost area. But this thing came out of the package just razor sharp, and it's just a classic design. So I don't have a regular Skyline, but I have the Skyline XL, and you know, they come in some fancy finishes and some special editions and all that stuff, but I love that dark stonewash finish. Kershaw does that really well. A lot of companies do it well, but Kershaw does it really well. So it's totally manual, no springs, so you don't have to worry about that, you know, if you're in one of those places. But awesome. Okay, now we're reaching back a little bit. So the Kershaw Tremor. This is it's a low. I mean, it was when it came out. This was kind of a low-cost Kershaw knife. You know, not the greatest steel. I'm pretty sure it was like 8CR13, but you got a lot of knife for your money back then. And I got two because I wanted one in the serrated, and I wanted. I mean, back then these were not less than $20 knives, you know. So I wanted one in the serrated, and I wanted one in the fine edge. But that stonewash is gorgeous, you know, and it's a hefty looking knife too. It's not that heavy, but going back a ways, you know, for Kershaw, this is a deal of a knife. I mean, it's got a fairly thick blade for its size, speed safe. So you hear that sound? I mean, it's just, you got so much knife for your money when these things came out, and they're comfortable. They're really comfortable. So these are ones that also I never really carried. I just like the looks of them. They've been collection queens forever, and they probably will stay that way because, you know, they're out of production now. But they're gorgeous. The stonewash on them is just, Kershaw does a great stonewash, even on their least expensive knives. The thing is, they put the time in even on their least expensive knives, to really give you something good for your money. So the Tremors were always nice. And you can find these now and then on eBay. And of course, you're paying aftermarket prices. But if you can find one for a decent price, it's a good knife. And I would carry one if I had one. If I had one more to carry around today, I would. Tremor's pretty cool. This is the knife that started it all for me. This is the Kershaw Compound. I love this knife, and it is super special to me because very loyal viewers might recognize that this is the knife that is the basis of my very first YouTube video ever. And I'm going to put a little card up in the corner if you want to go back and check that out way back when. My very first experience on YouTube, my very first experience working with knives and knife modding was based on the Kershaw Compound, because I think it was on Groupon, believe it or not. They sold... No, it wasn't Groupon. It was... Oh, some deal of the day thing. I can't remember what it was. If I remember it, I'll put it in text, but it was... you know, they had a deal of the day website, and you could get 3 of these for $9 each. And I was deployed at the time, and I said, hey, that's a pretty good deal. I'll pick that up. You know, I mean, and for $9 for a Kershaw Compound is awesome. It totally is worth the price. The Compound is a great EDC knife, speed safe, as you can see. It brings back so many memories. And this is the last one I have, because I did the other 2 I did customizations on, and I gave them both away. I gave both of those ones away, and I miss them so much. But the Kershaw, it just has a cool, I like it, like a natural animal kind of shape to me. I love the Compound. If you can find a Compound, get it. Definitely get it. But this is going back a ways in Kershaw, when their low-cost line was really low cost and really good, high quality. Bead blast finish. It's all, you know, plastic scales and stuff, but you at least get a clip, you know, tip up, tip down with that old Kershaw clip. But what a great knife. I love this. If I could get a bunch now, I would absolutely, I would do it. I would definitely do it. You know, yeah, and it's Alphabet 8CR13 steel, but for the price, totally worth it. Love the Compound. Jumping ahead in the timeline, this is one of the newest, and it came in a box recently. This is the Kershaw Pub, and it just happens to be on the desk, so I'm gonna do it. Interesting little knife, you know. So this is like, you know, you can clip this onto something, and then it just has a little dangle there, and it's slip joint, so non-locking. Little Warncliffe blade, and bottle opener, of course. Why not? And you get kind of like a screwdriver slash sort of a pry bar, not really. It's just a little thing, but it's a Sinkovich design, which is, you know, that's a big name to put behind a little thing like this. And it's like a little utility knife that you can carry around, and it's actually been a little convenient for me. I can't remember what it came in, to tell you the truth, but it's, you know, it is what it is. Kershaw makes some nice, small, little utility-sized kind of things. I don't know. We can argue about the price for this thing. It comes in. It comes in this, you know, aluminum scaled one, and they have a carbon fiber version. It's actually, the price on it's not too bad. You know, now that I think about it, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's like, you know, it's like $20 or sub $20. But it's, you know, it's an interesting little accessory kind of knife. 8CR13 blade, again, common Kershaw steel, and then a steel frame there. Yeah. Oh boy, look at this! It's the Select Fire, and this is the blue Walmart exclusive version. Normally they're just black plastic. This is one of the first knives I ever had that had like a bit carrier option, and this was interesting when it came out. I gotta admit, you have these spring-loaded bit carrier things here, and they come with the bits, which is cool. And then it has a magnetic bit holder over here, which has kind of like a little measuring thing on it. And yes, a bottle opener, dun dun dun. It's got kind of a, honestly, kind of a weak little liner lock, 8CR13 steel, but it's a G&G Hawk design, which is kind of cool. It's a father and son knife designing team. You know, originally I got it again on a deployment. I think the black one. I don't know what happened to the original one. I'm not a fan of this blade. These serrations go way too far down the blade, but you know, it's a good working utility knife. And again, it was so much cheaper when it first came out. I'm so old saying, back in my day, it was, movies were a nickel. But, you know, it was a lot cheaper. It was like a $20 knife again when I first got it. And now it's not. Walmart does a lot of exclusive stuff through Kershaw, if you didn't know, by the way. But, you know, it's convenient. It was not quite a multi-tool, but you had this cool thing. And you could, you know, this gave it a little bit of leverage for, you know, for torquing to use the bits. And of course you could switch these bits out if you had like common ones that you were going to use. And it was just kind of a cool little knife. But the blade always left me with a little to desire because those serrations are just way too big down the blade. But you can still find the Select Fire out there, I believe. I haven't shopped for it in a while, but it's a cool little knife. This is the Hotwire, and I believe this came in a Walmart exclusive thing. I know I got this one in one of the Walmart holiday packs, and you know, if you see there on the model number, let me zoom in. You can see it's got the WM at the end. That's a Walmart exclusive. Now, to be honest, I'm not sure if they sold the Hotwire separately. I believe they did. And it was, again, a very low-cost knife. What do I have on there? Is that like some resin or something? I actually did carry this guy around for a little bit, just because it's such a convenient EDC size, and it comes with a deep carry clip. And I can't remember which 3-piece set it came with, or 4-piece set even. But you know, plastic scales, you know, standard low-cost Kershaw, but great little EDC knife. And I am pretty sure they actually did sell it separately at some point. But another one, if you can find it on eBay for a decent price, don't pay a lot for it, because it's not a high-end knife. But I mean, you know, the thing about these Kershaw, these low-cost Kershaw knives, they're great if you're just getting into knives. You know, you can pick one up, learn about knife care and maintenance, learn how to sharpen. It'll make a good starter knife, you know, for EDC and stuff. And if you lose it, if it breaks, if you mess it up, it's not that big a deal, because it's like, you know, we're talking very cheap knives in the first place. But we have to look at the Pico and the Amplitude together, because I first got these knives and compared them together and reviewed them together based on viewer requests. And they're stepping up a little bit in the realm of Kershaw. You'll notice I don't have these in any set order really, like I do some of the others. So the Pico has a really nice 2-finish blade with satin flats and stonewash finish. Again, Kershaw doing really nice on the stonewash. Full steel frame, a little bit small, but it's got speed safe. So nice choice for the EDC folks. And you know, I don't know. The thing that didn't draw me to this so much is the size. It's a very small knife if you got big hands, but well done. Well done, nice piece in the collection. And you know, if you're looking at custom, it's, you know, big open canvas, deep carry clip, nice little backspacer too. Now the Amplitude has a little bit more of that, you know, accent, kind of artistic look. It has this cool deep carry clip that's reversible there on the back. Same thing though, just, you know, like open canvas for custom work, all sorts of stuff you can do with it. Also speed safe. But, you know, they're kind of, I like the flipper on this actually a lot. Doesn't take anything to get it to go. Which one you like is really up to you. I kind of say they're similar in size, in weight. Blade shape, of course, is a little bit different. I kind of like the aesthetics going on here on the Pico, but I love the action and I love the mechanics on the lock on the Amplitude. But they're both nice looking knives. And, you know, again, they're not that expensive. They do fit nicely into the lower end, low cost of Kershaw. And the thing is, even though it's not an expensive knife, they look nice. They do look nice. They have nice aesthetics. And you know, it's something that when you take out of your pocket, it doesn't it doesn't look like a cheap old knife. I know Kershaw's good at that. Let's look at the Kershaw Barricade. This is a dedicated rescue knife from Kershaw, and a very low cost out. Yeah, there's, by the way, if you see this blue bottle, it's just some cleaner, you know, when I need to clean off chinchilla dust. A very much lower cost option that I was comparing to the Benchmade Triage once upon a time. I never did the video, but so I like the Barricade. It's a good knife. It's a little thin and flimsy compared to some other rescue knives, but in its price range, awesome. You have your seatbelt cutter, of course. You've got your glass breaker. You have a speed safe opening blade. And what you have is a nice, big, non-serrated, fine edge. But oddly enough, on a rescue knife, you have a very pointed end, which is not what you want. You want a blunter safety end to get up under clothes and stuff. You don't want to poke your victim that you're trying to save. It's 8CR13 steel, but you know, it's a nice knife. It's a comfortable knife, and it functions obviously great. The reason the clip is non-positionable is because knife logic tells that any knife you put on a belt you want tipped down. That's not my rule. That's just some rule that somebody came up with. And this being a rescue knife might be worn, you know, on a duty belt or something. I don't know. But the Barricade is a good lower cost option if you need an actual rescue knife. But honestly, if I was going to use this as a rescue knife, I would totally reprofile the tip to be rounded off. I would never use something this pointy as a rescue knife. I love the blade shape if it's just going to be a knife. I'm just going to use it as a knife. But the Barricade is knife. It's such a thin piece of steel if you're going to be using it in like a hard use environment. You know, and then the steel type compared to some other rescue knives that are out there, like the Gerber Hinder Rescuer series, or the Triage, or some of the more quote unquote professional types. But it's a cool knife, and again, not bad if this is in your price range, and they still sell this. The Flourish. This had a lot of hype when it came out, and there's some things I really liked about it, and some things I didn't. Love the exposed lanyard hole area. Don't like the clip. Do like that it's left or right. You know, they had the whole G10 thing. I don't like this taking a little micro thin slab of carbon fiber, throwing it inside G10 and saying, there you go. I don't know, that's cheap. But I love this blade. Love the blade. The overall design of the whole thing is a beautiful knife. And it's comfortable. And this jimping is right where it needs to be. And you know, again, we're talking Kershaw, you know, they're not trying to break the bank on most of their models. So 8CR13 steel. But look at that. It's I mean, beautiful drop point blade. Speed safe, again. Beautiful action. It's a gorgeous knife. So, unfortunately, I think this whole carbon fiber inlay thing kind of cheapens it. But if this was just all G10, I mean, this would be gorgeous. But the Flourish is a nice knife. Little more expensive than some of the other, you know, lower end ones, but gorgeous. The Blur is another one of those kind of very classic Kershaw knives. Now, this was actually a Halloween special back in I don't know when, to tell you the truth. I can't remember, but it's a CPM 154 blade, and it's got like this green anodized, it's supposed to be a spider web pattern. The Blur, also a speed safe knife. The Blur is like, look at that dark DLC finish. That's really nice. This is one that I redid. It came to me in a trade, and it was very beaten up. It was super beaten up, and I redid the whole thing. And I believe there's a video on this too, so I'll put a little thing at the top of the screen there that you can take a look at, and how we redid this thing. Now, it is still not in perfect condition. It is not. And you know why? Because I'm missing this screw, which I recently did a video on knife centering, and this screw would help me recenter this blade. I suppose I could just move one of those over there, but so I fixed up the blade a little bit, and then I Cerakoted the entire scale, did the blade, laser etched, and I put the Kershaw back on, and I put all the wording back on, and this thing was beat to hell. This was really beat up, and internally it was all gooey and gummy. But we reconditioned it at the shop and made it look pretty. But the Blur is a really nice knife. It's a little bit more expensive than some of your standard Kershaws, but it's a solid knife, and people really love the Blur. I'm not as big a fan of the Blur as some other people are. You know, some people complain about, I still have to do a video on sharpening a recurve blade. It's not that hard, but people keep wanting a video on it. I'll get to it when I can. You just need the right tools. It's got a slight recurve, which I think is cool. But yeah, the Blur is nice. It's a nice little EDC knife. It's a little more pricey than some of their others. This is, reach back a little bit, the Oso Suite. Oso being, you know, spelled like Spanish for bear. I never was a big fan of this one. Just, it's small. I do like the patterning on the scales, plastic scales, but it's a very small knife. You got little hands, or you want to carry a little knife around, it's pretty good. The spring assist, the speed safe on this one is very light, we'll say. I mean, it shoots the blade out just fine, but it's a little easier to close than some others I've had, which is a good thing. But it's here. I've never been a big fan of it, but there it is. So these are also, if they've got the WM numbers, these are also from Walmart sets. I don't think they have, you know, model names. This is 2018, so this is from the 2018, I believe, you know, Christmas time set. I love this one. I love the blade shape. I love the handle. I mean, it's, you know, plastic scales again, but really great machining on. I can't even say machining. Injection molding. You got a great grip on it. Unfortunately, you got a deep carry clip. That's not the unfortunate part, but unfortunately, you can't do anything with it. Nice attention to detail. Like if you really notice, you've got that nice brown coating on the scales, you know, to kind of match the blade and everything. And yeah, it's a cheap knife. It's a cheap knife, but it's a good cheap knife. It's not meant to be anything that expensive. And it, again, for, you know, for somebody that's new to knives, or you just need a beater, there you go. And this one I really love too. I'm not normally a fan of Tonto blades that much, but you know, this one is the 1300 WM. I don't like this. This is a cheap ass clip. Like, this is the kind of clip you find on gas station knives, honestly. But it is what it is. Speed safe again. And it's a good size for just general utility work and stuff, and it looks nice. And they put a really nice dark stonewash finish on it. I can't remember if, I don't think they came together. I should have organized them in the drawers with the things they came with, but I didn't. You know, I love the they've got the dark stonewash on the liners all the way in there. You can't really see it. But I like the gray plastic. It kind of offsets the color of the blade. I mean, it's, you know, they put little time and attention into these, and they're probably worth, I mean, I don't know, $5, $6, not more than $10. But they're the kind of thing that every once in a while I might, no, I wouldn't carry it. I probably wouldn't carry it. But the thing is, if I had to carry these, unlike the crap that came in knife box, yeah, let's talk about the knife box. Like, I would have faith that I could use these and they would hold up for my daily tasks, you know, and they would be at least reliable for me. And they're just kind of cool models. And the thing is, like, once they put out those holiday releases, like once they're gone, I don't think you can get them anymore. So that's what's kind of cool about them. These guys are Vapor 3s. I don't know how long I've had these. These are strictly manual, all steel. These guys are not doing well. They need to be cleaned up. So one serrated and one fine edge. The action on them is really nice for manual knives. There's really nothing that special about them. They do kind of look cheap gas station-ish. I did a custom one once upon a time, and I don't remember if there's a video on it or what. And I gave it away, you know, in one of the old giveaways. It's, you know, it's I don't know, it's kind of thin. it is what it is. I have them because I have them, and I wanted to just keep them around. Wow, they really need to be cleaned up. But, you know, this is an older, simpler time for Kershaw, I think. Way back when, just drop point and some steel. I don't know. They are what they are. The Cryo II, Rick Hinderer collaboration, and you can see a little Hinderer in this. Not a fan, honestly. Very thin. I normally like a little heavy knife, but I don't like the blade to handle ratio on this. You got speed safe going for you, so there's that. But I've never liked the Cryo 2. There's some other Hinderer collaborations that I really do like. What I love though is they got deep carry clip absolutely perfect with this knife. Look at that. None of this knife sticks out over your pocket, and that is the whole purpose of a deep carry clip. When you flip it around, it doesn't do the exact same thing when you have tip up. But a lot of people do like this knife a lot though. I'm just, you know, I never was so much of a fan. I didn't buy either of these. They came in boxes. Both of them came in different boxes. When I first got the this Nerve, I was upset. You know, they obviously did CNC machining on this, on the G10, and I just always felt like this knife looked unfinished. I don't know if this might look cool and futuristic. I don't like this handle at all. I don't like it. I never did. I don't feel like this doesn't provide grippiness because it's all, you know, your hands are in line with that, so it just slides around. If it was the other way, if it was vertical lines, it would provide you some kind of grip. I just, you know, I never really enjoyed it. It's a manual knife, not speed safe, but it just this, and I remember ranting about it in the unboxing video that it has a look of like a, you know, an unfit, like it needs to all be sanded down. It's not a finished looking knife. I never liked the Kershaw Nerve. The Clash is another one of the, you know, standard old, you know, going back Kershaw, bead blast finish, plastic scales, plastic backspacer, but it has one of the biggest clips I've ever seen in my life. This knife is going nowhere in your pocket. I don't know. It's got really comfortable handle though. Nice choil. Nice space for your thumb. That jimping might as well not even be there because you can't feel it. But yeah, just another one of those, you know, standard, almost like not cookie cutter designs, but cookie cutter looks. Black plastic, bead blast finish, you know, kind of knives. But speed safe works great, comfortable in your hand. When I got the Burst, I got it thinking, you know, not reading specs and thinking it was going to be a bigger knife. It's got a really interesting little pattern on the plastic there. And I like the blade shape. I thought the blade shape looked cool, but it's very tiny. And it's a really nice, gentle, you know, tumble stonewash finish there. It's just, there's not much to hold on to, and it's a very small knife. And I'm not sure what that little divot there is for. It just, you know, this clip is so tiny and, you know, great knife for a deep carry clip. But, it was cheap. Again, at the time, it was cheap. Probably less than $19. I can't remember. But it just sits in the collection, and it does nothing. There it is. This poor little RJ2 has been beat up and killed, and I, you know, messed with it trying to do knife mods early on, and you can see it's, I don't know where its clip is, whatever. It's got actual G10 scales, which is nice. But it's also one that I bought not reading specs, thinking it was going to be a bigger knife than it was. Kershaw likes to put out small knives. And this size just does nothing for me. It's a nice design. It's so tiny that, you know, carrying it around does nothing for me. And I think I ended up trying to, like, I couldn't get that screw out. And I was maybe another deployed experiment, so I didn't have like an oven to put it in for Loctite or anything, and that's why it's all beat up like this. And I gave up on it, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna put it in the collection and leave it. The Swerve is cool. I like the Swerve. To me, the Swerve was sort of an attempt to bring back a cheaper version of the Echelon. It has, you know, similar stylings to me. I love the blade shape. Interesting the way that the clip works. So you have that little screw in the butt right there, and you screw it in, and then you can replace it. Speed safe on this one is a little sluggish, but it works. I love that you got a nice wide blade area. A little bit small in the handle, but you could still get a nice, good hold on that knife, and it works pretty well. And you got the Kershaw K texture that they call it there. It's a simple budget knife, but it'll get you through some stuff. And but you know, again, it's either standard stonewash or bead blast finish and black plastic. You know, Kershaw look. This 1310, this came with the 1300 in the Walmart set. Tiny little guy with speed safe. I have nothing to say about it. It is just a little knife that you can carry around and say, hey, I got this little knife in a Walmart set. There's people out there that I'm sure love this little guy. It's just for its size, it's a very thick handle, you know. So you're thinking, oh, it's a little tiny knife, great for like, you know, EDC, small in the pocket, but it takes up really thick room in the pocket. But speed safe works great on it. And the 1336 Walmart. Now this is one of my favorite ones to come out of a Walmart set too. Plastic scale, but like really nicely sculpted. You've got this exposed, you know, lanyard hole backspacer. Speed safe again. It is small, but it's a nice design. It's a really nice design. And I think that they could have probably marketed this separate with, you know, just some better materials. And this knife could have sold all on its own. Deep carry clip. This could have been a successful design. This is a pretty nice little knife, but it was one of the Walmart exclusives in a holiday pack. And it's a pretty cool little just EDC design. Kershaw filter is a nice heavier knife if you're into that. Speed safe again. All steel frame. The black wash, you know, of course, always looks good. Just a simple EDC knife with a little bit of weight to it. Unfortunately, you can't do anything with the clip, and it's got that relatively cheap looking clip. But the positioning of the clip prevents you from putting big fat fingers on the lock when you're opening it. So whether you choose to use thumb studs or the flipper, it's got great deployment because you got your speed safe anyway. And it's just a nice design. And again, if you want to customize this or do anything, just big open canvas. This filter is pretty cool. So the leak here is another one of those that is like one of those, like, you know, every Kershaw collection should have a leak. It's Ken Onion design. I have said the leak is like Kershaw's 940, Benchmade 940. It's like Kershaw's version of that. Not that it's like similar to the design, but I mean it is like, you know, they're, you know what I mean. Small Warncliffe blade kind of. You know, people love it. It even has a little deployment lock that will prevent you from triggering it. But people love the leak as an EDC knife, and it comes in all sorts of colors and steels and special versions and fancy versions. I mean, you can get like a $200 leak if you look out there. Aluminum scales. It comes in all sorts of options. To me, it's a little bit small. To me, it's just a little bit small. But people love the leak. Look at that little tiny flipper. But when you have your speed safe, it doesn't even matter. I only have one leak. Used to have another, but people love this knife. Seguin, if I'm pronouncing it right. I know there's different pronunciations, and I'm probably getting it wrong. Another all-steel knife, another one that's smaller than I thought it was going to be because I don't read when I look at specs online. Sometimes I just get excited by shape. But it's got really nice machining on the scale, on the scales and the lock side. Deep carry clip, that's very effective, and a strong speed safe. And, you know, it's another George design. So the PVD coating on the blade's really nice. I've never carried it because it's a little small in my hand. I got it, I reviewed it, I said great. Put it in the collection. There it is. This one is another one that I believe came in a holiday pack. And it's another one that I like because comfortable handle, nice shaping, nice blade shape for sort of utility work. I'd love it if this deep carry clip, which almost keeps the entire knife in your pocket, could be modified for tip up carry. But look at it. It's a really nice little knife. Again, cheap. When you get the holiday pack and you figure you pay like $19.99 for the holiday pack and get like 4 knives in it, it's pretty good. I didn't get this year's holiday pack. I don't even know if they put out a holiday pack. I'm sure they did. But it's just it's a simple little kind of cool design. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is the last holiday pack knife. The 1336 Walmart. I think they're all called 1336 Walmart now. My least favorite of them, just because of the big serrations on the blade. But once again, speed safe, nice tan scales. You know, again, the injection molding gives some texture and stuff to it. Thin steel liners. So, but nice dark stone wash on the blade. I'm not a fan of the blade itself, but overall, you know, nice knife. They give deep carry clips on these really cheap holiday pack knives, and then some of the actual production models are like, you know, they have these weird crappy clips. I don't get it. We have here 3 Kershaw links. Let's see. Now this, I think, is, let me see, standard model. Yeah. And one of these is a special model from House of Blades, and I'm not sure which one it is, but this one, because it says House of Blades on it, and this is the one in S35 VN. Now the Kershaw link is really popular as well, and you know, because it's a really nice knife, this is also one that you can get now in all sorts of crazy stuff, all sorts of fancy patterns. House of Blades originally had, you know, the original, they had a red one or a blue one, and you know, some fancy steel, and then Kershaw came out with a whole wide range of steels and all sorts of, you know, patterns on it and stuff like that. I like the link. If you know, the link is a great EDC knife. Number one, that blade shape is awesome. Number two, the handle is comfortable. If this deep carry clip would improve this so much right there. But lanyard hole, you know, away from anything else in the knife that would interfere with it. Speed safe, of course, and easy to get to lock right there. It's just, that blade is awesome. Really nice. Not quite a sheep's foot blade, but almost. Just really nice for all sorts of slicing stuff. Little tiny bit small in my hand, and that clip, it's not the most comfortable, but it, you know, House of Blades one, by the way, comes with a deep carry clip. And this clip on here makes it no problem. It's a great all-around EDC knife. You're going to pay a little bit more for the link, but it is totally worth it. Love the Kershaw link, and you know, wait till you see some of the fanciness you can get the link to come in. This is the Kershaw Cryo, not the Cryo 2. This is a little tiny knife, and this is the G10 handled version, and this one came in a box as well. This is too small for me to do anything with. You know, it doesn't fit my hand that well, and it is what it is. I think that this is why Kershaw makes these little midget series of knives, I don't know. But I guess there's little people with little hands that need to use them. It's a very small knife. It is a Hinder design, and you know, the workmanship on it is good. I like the way they, you know, finish off the steel and everything, but it's too small for me to really feel comfortable using and doing much with. So we're going to talk about the Kershaw Shuffle. Unfortunately, I don't have any Shuffle 2s left. I once upon a time ended up with a whole bunch of Shuffles, and I gave one to each of my Patreon members at the time. Every single one of my Patreon team got to choose either a Shuffle or a Shuffle 2, and they all the Shuffle 2s went out the door, and they got to choose what color they wanted from what I had. The Kershaw Shuffle is, even though now normally I'm like, I don't like small knives, but the Shuffle is a really nice, if you need a small little utility knife, I love the Kershaw Shuffle. It has a bottle opener. Okay, we're past that. It has a little bit of a pry bar over there. But what it is just a small, lightweight, deep carry clip mounted, just simple little blade to get stuff done. But the thing about it is, it's made so it's not awkward to hold. It's a little knife, but it's comfortable in your hand. And they've made different kind of, there's a family to it that goes with it. You know, so the 3800, now I don't know why there's two model numbers. So there's the 3800 here, and then there's the 8700, and they're the exact same thing. Except the 8700s have this dark stonewash, and the 3800 is just regular bead blast thing. there's more colors than you see here too. This is just what's sitting left in the collection now. The Shuffle 2 is I don't have one, but it's got kind of a different blade and it's whatever. This, the 8720 is I think they call it the multifunction. Oh, no, this is the DIY. This is DIY. So this is basically a Kershaw Shuffle with a bit driver on the end of it, bit holder, and still a bottle opener. And it's quite a bit more expensive than the standard Kershaw Shuffle. But I like it because it adds everything that is the Shuffle, and it actually has a slightly wider handle, which makes it a little bit more comfortable to hold. And then you get to put two, of your most common bits in a little magnetic holder, and that's kind of cool to me. And these things even they got like little lock your bit in there. If I can actually get the bit to go back in. Now I look like an idiot because I'm saying how cool it is, but there we go. So got that. And then, of course, we have the most infamous of all. We've got the 4700, the Decoy, which is also known as the weed knife. Now, the Decoy on the surface looks like, okay, maybe it's a Wharncliffe Shuffle. It's got a front flipper to let it go. It's got actually a cool, like, bright green backspacer. It's got a different kind of clip and everything, but what it has is, and this one's a little touchy. It has a little clip, and a lot of people have decided that this is for, well, it's called the weed knife. So you can determine what you think people hold with this. I don't know. I just like it for the blade. It's got a rubber overlay on the handle, so it is very comfortable. It's got great jimping, and it's a nice Wharncliffe utility blade, and then you can hold your weed with there. So anyway, the Shuffle family is actually pretty cool. Now, Kershaw came out with another one. It's kind of a member of the family and kind of not, the Antic later on, which was supposed to be smaller, and I don't know. Some people have mentioned Karambit-like, but it's not at all. And I don't like it very much. It's all aluminum. It does not hold up to rust as well as the other ones. You still have your bottle opener, and you have your little screwdriver on the end, pry bar. The blade is even smaller. It's heavier. I got two of these. I gave one away. The guy I gave it to doesn't even like to use it. And it's just not as comfortable to use. So there's that. But I like the Shuffle. The Shuffle is a good little like extra side piece just to carry around. You can actually get, like on Amazon, you can get like 3 packs of them in different colors and everything, and just stash them everywhere. Here's the Cinder, another Rick Hinderer collaboration. When you need the absolute smallest blade you can possibly carry and possibly lose. Guess what? It has a bottle opener. I don't know what you would ever use this for. It is still like a $9, $9.99 item. Yeah. So I don't know. You put it on a keychain or something and carry it around. I mean, I guess if you just need to like open boxes or mail or just have a tiny little utility blade on you, it's cool, and it's a Hinderer, technically, design. So, there you go. But it's like little tiny and weighs nothing. The Thistle was a cool experiment in button lock technology, which is not technology at all. All it is you press a button because the liner lock is sub into the liner there. I like the Thistle. It is back to Kershaw's old, and it's not back. I mean, I say back, but it's a fairly recent knife. It's got, plastic. But, gorgeous finish on the blade. But, so you press the button, and the button actually activates that liner lock, which lets you close it. It's manual, but see that action? It's a really nice blade. It says Kershaw. I mean, yes, it says Kershaw here, and it's got the K scale. But, I mean, just the look of it says Kershaw. But it's a nice knife. Comfortable, deep carry clip. I went to try to close it again. You got to get used to that button being right there. You're not going to accidentally press it, by the way. Like you can You have to forcefully want to close that knife. And it's a nice looking EDC. I mean, that finish on that blade's gorgeous. So the Thistle's kind of cool. Here's the Fraction. Another one I'm not guilty of reading specs and just looking at a cool design and saying, oh, I want to check that out. It's another one that has the very cheap, micro-thin carbon fiber, you know, inlay, overlay on it. Yeah. There's, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, not much special about this knife. It's got great detent on that flipper. That's not speed safe. That is just knife opening. But it's another one of these micro midget knives that Kershaw loves to put out. So I have it. It exists. I don't like carrying it. It just disappears into my hand. Jimping is really good up there, though. You know. This is, you know, part of Kershaw's now modern line where they're really getting artsy. This is the Decibel. And I actually have two of them. It's small. It is. But it's also a little bit heavy. So, well, you know, they've got, you know, they went a little extra on this. First of all, I like the blade. It's almost like a, you know, sheep's foot kind of blade. It's got a little curve in it, so I don't call it a Warncliffe. You got the Kershaw in there. You've got these blue anodized accents. It's modern looking. You know, it's like, it's very industrial. It's got smooth action. It's, you know, an artsy kind of looking piece. Very interesting clip. I would never carry it. It's not the kind of knife I would carry around, but I mean, if you needed a slicing blade, it's got a nice slicing blade, and then everything is PVD coated, so it's nice and protected. It's just, you know, not the kind of thing I wanted. I need to make two honorable mentions here while I'm doing this. Two knives that I really liked that have disappeared from my collection. One was stolen from me by someone, and that is the Kershaw Launch 7, which is a Kershaw automatic knife that I loved, and I did a video on it. You can look back on the channel. I had somebody that, unfortunately, I welcomed as a guest into the house a few times, and they stole quite a few items from me. And I didn't realize it until it was too late. So the Launch 7 was one of the things they took. I love the Launch 7. The Launch 7 is a great automatic knife if you get a chance to get your hands on it. Kershaw has a Launch series of automatic knives, and I just really liked it. It was really good. The other one, I lost, and that is the Boilermaker. The Boilermaker was part of this new artsy line that Kershaw has. I'm definitely going to get another one. The Boilermaker I reviewed also. You can look for it on the channel. Very nice knife. Kind of, again, steampunky, kind of Art Deco features. I really like it. It was a little small, but I really liked it. And it had some really nice features, you know, and kind of artistic. Going back in time again, this is the time of the Tremor and the Compound, the Kershaw Asset. I love this. It reminds me of a shark or something. I got these. These were, again, cheap. You can get these for like $9 a piece back in the day. These were the basis of a custom that I gave away. Ethan, I need you to stop doing that. I can hear it on the video. I gave these away, one of these away, and I did like a green, you know, G10 kind of thing. But these are simple, comfortable, kind of nasty looking. They're out of production now. I would rather have a Compound or a Tremor over these, honestly. But the action on them is so crisp, and they have such a cool look. Tell me they don't look like some kind of shark or alligator or something coming for you. These two have been in the collection for a long time, just sitting there hanging out, and they'll continue to do that. All right, so you remember we had the Select Fire, we had the DIY, now we've got the more expensive version of both of those. This is the Payload. We haven't upgraded the steel or anything. It's still like 8CR13. It is a very comfortable knife, though, I gotta tell you. What they've done is they gave you 4 bits in the handle, so just like the Select Fire. But they added this, well, and then one in the back, and then they gave you this button. Oh, that's confidence inspiring. This hasn't been opened in a while, and you have this locking bit driver in the back. So it comes with the T6, and then you've got 2 Phillips, and you've got 2 slot drivers there, and very odd little, you got to hit the liner lock right there. But love this blade. Look at that blade. I mean, that'll slice through anything. If only it wasn't 8CR13. It is pricey for 8CR13, but very comfortable using that driver. What you don't get is the ability. Remember, we could bend it over and get some torque with the select fire. The Payload doesn't let you do that. But magnetic assist holding these things in, and then you press the button, and it locks back in place, and you've got your knife back. It's a very comfortable ergonomic design, and you got jimping on the top and the bottom of the blade. It's overpriced. It is for the material. I mean, it's all plastic and 8CR13, but it's a cool design. You know, let you carry these bits. I would prefer the fold out bit holder that you had on the select fire instead of this kind of little stinger on the back that they give you here. But it's cool, and nice deep carry clip. I picked this up when I was stationed in Idaho. This is a Walmart exclusive Kershaw Crown. Now this is a cool knife. Blue G10, because, you know, the Walmart exclusive blue color. Aluminum, I think it's aluminum, might be steel. No, it's steel. Yeah, steel bolsters worked right into the liners. Very simple design, you know, but it looks nice. It looks nice. I've carried it a couple times, just a couple times when I got it, and didn't do anything with it. Manual knife, simple, you know, basic blade, but could use a little refurbishing. But yeah. And I think they made I think they did make a regular version of this with like black, and then the Walmart version in blue. This is the Kuro. The Kuro reminds me a lot of the Oso Suite with a different handle, or the Burst, or I don't know, I can't remember. A lot of one of these little tiny ones with the squiggles on it. There's nothing special to say about this one. 8CR13 steel. Speed safe. It is what it is. And then the last member of the collection, the Kershaw Deadline. And this, when it came out, was very special because of the two-tone, you know, PVD and satin finish. First of all, it's got a really nice Wharncliffe blade, and it had this kind of cool inset liner lock where the whole piece of the liner went in when it locked up. So when you press it, you see it all comes out, and then you've got your little flipper. This was kind of artsy at the time, you know, for Kershaw. And it's all steel, but pretty comfortable, and, you know, the PVD coating on the blade is very nicely done. I can't remember how much I liked it, it reminded me of like a pool cue or something when I first saw it with the design on it, but I think that JT's Knife Life really loved this when he first got it. But yeah, there it goes. That does it. There's some, you know, the new items in Kershaw's lineup that I really want to look at, and I haven't really been buying as much as I used to, but I'm going to get some new stuff from, you know, I mean, not just 2020, 2021. I'm going to go back to the 1919 to the 2019 set. Kershaw makes a great range. They make a really great range of products. You know, that's the thing. Kershaw doesn't just specialize in, we're going to make fancy this or cheap that. Kershaw's got stuff for every level of people. You know, Kershaw has stuff that'll cost you a couple $100. Kershaw's got stuff that'll cost you $10. They really cater to the whole base of knife lovers. They really do. And of course, don't forget, Kershaw is in the same stable as ZT. So, you know, they try to leave the real fancy stuff to ZT. But Kershaw itself has put out some very, very nice higher end, medium end, we'll say medium, mid-range kind of stuff. And they've done well. They've done very, very well with their stuff. I really like Kershaw. Kershaw has great customer service. They have just a great product line with so many options. They work with great designers. They produce a lot, and they don't stop. They're constantly trying to improve the product line. They're always trying to add more stuff. So I've been a fan of Kershaw for a long time. And when somebody asks me, what's a recommendation for a good value company, Kershaw's one of the first things I say. So there's the Kershaw collection, guys. What do you think? What do you guys like in it? I mean, who has some of the same stuff? I think I'm going to do CRKT next, because I got a good range of CRKT. I don't know if I have more or less than Kershaw, but I'll do that next. Anyway, again, this is going to be, I might not be able to respond to comments on this, as quick as I normally do. But I want to get some content preloaded and scheduled for you guys for while I am going to be on some downtime. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this one like you enjoyed the others, and I will keep working through the collection because I know you guys have been wanting to see that for a while. It's been the topic of requests. So take care. Thanks for watching, and remember, you guys are all absolutely awesome. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will be back again, well, as soon as I can.